After I surprised her with a paid-off mortgage, my wife poured 2 glasses of wine and said, "I think it's time you meet the man I've been seeing." I had just handed her the letter from the bank showing 0 balance, 3 years of overtime shifts, skipped vacations, and eating lunch in my truck to save every dollar. I thought she would cry happy tears. Instead, she set down the letter without reading it and pulled out her phone. She dialed a number and put it on speaker. A man's voice answered on the second ring. "Is it done?" She looked at me and smiled. "He just paid off the house. You can come over now." I stood there holding the mortgage papers while my entire world collapsed. The man on the phone laughed and said he would be there in 10 minutes. She hung up and took a sip of wine like we were discussing dinner plans. His name was Gregory, and he walked into my house like he owned it. He shook my hand and thanked me for being such a hard worker. My wife explained that they had been together for 2 years, and that the plan was always to wait until the house was paid off before she filed for divorce. She said the state we lived in split assets 50-50, and that she would be entitled to half the equity I had just created. Gregory put his arm around her shoulder and told me I seemed like a nice guy who deserved to know the truth. I asked them both to leave my house. My wife laughed and reminded me that her name was on the deed too. She said I could sleep in the basement if I wanted, but she and Gregory were taking the master bedroom. I grabbed my keys and walked out to my truck because I could not breathe in that house anymore. I drove to my brother's apartment and told him everything. He worked in family law and his face got darker with every word I said. He told me to go back home and act normal while he did some research. The next morning I returned and found Gregory making breakfast in my kitchen. He offered me eggs and called me roommate. My wife was upstairs getting ready for work, and she came down wearing a necklace I had never seen before. Gregory kissed her goodbye and whispered something that made her laugh. I smiled and told them both to have a great day. The moment they left, I started searching. I found a folder hidden in the back of her closet with bank statements from an account I never knew existed. For 18 months, she had been transferring $300 every week from our joint savings into this hidden account. The total was over $23,000. I photographed every page and sent them to my brother. He called me an hour later and told me to keep digging. I found credit card statements with hotel charges and restaurant bills that happened on nights she told me she was visiting her mother. I found receipts for jewelry I had never seen her wear. Then I found the